Hello, my fellow industry real estate agents. Thanks for joining me on this live demo. Today, we're going to hit the subject head on around vendor nurturing, or what's most commonly known as in our industry as vendor reporting. Now, I've nearly been in the industry some 2 decades, and over that time, vendor reporting has been done many different ways. I mean, when I first started, it was literally handwritten reports you'd write at the end of the open inspection and leave it on the kitchen bench before ringing the vendor after the open inspection. Then, as technology evolved, maybe you're downloading a PDF report from Ignite, sending that to your client to refer on the analytics of what's unfolding behind the scenes, to maybe more advanced platforms with video content. I know I found myself previously literally with my phone in my office videoing what I'm seeing on Ignite through realestate.com performance and analytics to domain and that of my social media meta ads dashboard, right? But the main emphasis and objective here is that a skilled agent for longevity will do weekly vendor reports as a non-negotiable. Why? Well, it shows you've got your finger on the pulse at all times. It shows that you're looking at what's happening behind the scenes and you're not just waiting reactively to see what comes of the weekend open inspection. And it's important for us to always understand the marketing analytics, because that ultimately influences days on market, people coming through, and if we're selling in a competitive market where multiple offers are being received, or it's in isolation and days on market are being pushed out. It's also great for critical conversations. So if you are backed by data, the data doesn't lie. So today I'm going to share with you a live demo of the tools that we've got within our tech stack here at eXp Realty to empower our partnered agents with respect to live vendor reporting. And I really want to emphasize that because this is live data that we can set up with our vendor to give them a static link that the information is live throughout the entire property campaign. And as you're going to see in a moment, that includes live buyer feedback at open inspections and viewings, through to live analytics of what's happening with realestate.com domain or social media campaigns with clicks, views, engagements, and everything else in between. So this is our CRM dashboard. And in here, you can see we've got a tab of vendor reports. And this is where we can set up the Rex Hub. So when you go to share the login with your client, it's very simple. It's literally click the share link, send them the link, it'll automatically send it to your client and it's done. And the link doesn't need to be updated. As I said, it's a static link, it doesn't change, and it is always live throughout the campaign. Now, as we jump over to the vendor hub, this is what it looks like from the client's perspective, your sellers, right? So you've got the dashboard to the left here, which shows you your overview of the campaign, future and upcoming events, feedback, which you industry agents will absolutely love, as I absolutely relish, campaign performance, offers, contracts, and marketing. So as we scroll through that menu option, you can see here the overview, days on market, total inquiries, inspections. This one only required one, sold pretty quickly. Total attendees at that open inspection, total offers received. You can see here the events that were held, so we can see the day of the open inspection. This is great if you build out your plan in advance. So let's say if you've got a 30-day campaign and you load all your campaigns, all your opens, maybe your auction day, all of that, your vendor can see in advance what's happening, as it's happening, when it's happening. This is the cool thing. So this is the buyer feedback, and this really breaks it down into some key categories. And as we know, this is transparent because now it's coming from the buyers, not you and I as the agents. Now, the advantage with Rex is we use Rex Pocket. So as we check buyers in, and many of you I'm sure are familiar with your own applications to check buyers in, whether it be HomePass of the like or any other industry tool. But as we're checking in buyers to Rex Pocket, we can enter the feedback in live at the open inspection. So I've had it many times where my clients have been literally around the corner up the road whilst I'm holding the open inspection. The open finishes and they've come back and they've been keeping the live link open on their phone. And they've said, Chris, 15 buyers today through, great attendance rate, can see all the feedback that you've noted as the buyers have entered, and they've almost got all the feedback there before you've even had to speak with them at the conclusion of the open inspection. How cool is that? That's an engaged seller, but it also shows you as the industry agent being very proactive and very heavily engaged at the open inspection. And that's exactly what you can see in the screen in front of you now, folks. So you can see here, it shows a breakdown of the buys that were hot, warm, cold, neutral. This is really cool, the price indication tool. It shows where the lowest form of the feedback's coming in at, where the average market perceived value is, and the highest level of interest. Okay, then you can scroll down and the seller can see transparently what the buyer's feedback was on the day at the open or at the viewing inspection. Okay, now it's as simple as this. Whether you do it at the open inspection, great, you can do it in the app. Or if you get back to the office and you're doing your callbacks in our system, it's literally, we go into buyer mode. Here's all the buyers, right? And if I'm calling Ali today from the follow-up open inspection, I can literally leave the feedback here. What was the inquiry source? What was Ali's price indication? Is he a cold, warm, hot buyer on this property? And then general feedback, comments, that's what feeds back through into the vendor live hub, right? Approved for reporting, so the vendor can see that. If there's things you don't want the vendor to see, you just uncheck that. They won't see that. Cool. And then you can also add a reminder. So if you want to follow Ali up in 24 hours because he's about to make an offer, you can set a little track reminder to follow him up. But that's super cool, and it's live, literally as the open inspection and viewing's happening. This is the other cool thing. Gone are the days. Don't worry about sending those PDF reports via email and downloading from Ignite, because our Rex hub pulls all this information through. So your seller can see this live. They can see what's happening on domain with page views, saved, inquiries, all the analytics with photos, media, engagement, and audience source. No different with realestate.com. They're seeing all the same analytics over the total campaign, 30 days, all the information. It's the same as your social media campaign. When they click on that, they can see everything. How many views, right? Landing page conversions, engagement, video plays. They can look at impressions. They can look at clicks. They can look at age demographics. They can look at gender. Who's mostly appealed on my home on social media, right? They can see all of that live in their vendor hub. You can then obviously put in the offers and contracts. So you can load all the offers. In this instance, we've just put one in, but we did have multiple offers on this property. And the other cool thing is, if you're one of those agents that likes to do marketing proofs for your client before a property goes live to market, which I do, I think there's a lot of benefit in doing that. You can proof all the marketing. So the photos, the text, all the video links, the whole lot in there. They can see their itemized marketing invoice in there as well. They get to review it, preview it, and if they're happy, they're clicking approve. Done. So that there, folks, is how we are managing vendor nurturing and vendor reporting. And the best part about it all, it's all in one application. It's in your CRM, it's on your mobile app, it's one plug and play solution for all your vendor management needs. If you're needing support and assistance with vendor nurturing in your business, please reach out. Or if you're just wanting to explore what we offer in terms of our tech stack and our subscription suite of services to all industry agents, just hit the link below. Let's book a discovery session to empower your business into 2026. Until the next episode, thank you for joining me on this live demo. Bye for now.